Hey everyone, welcome back to OptimizEvony. I wanted to do a video today to talk about this warning and actually some action that Evony has done to help kind of crack down on pack loaders and in their view kind of fraudulent activity. But before we get into that, I did want to actually do a shout out to Sing's video today, or maybe it was yesterday, about Ebony's fake ads and their kind of he basically goes through their post on their page where they talk about how customer friendly they are and like how their game is simple to understand, and they're working, everything starts from a great customer experience, which if any of you guys play this game, which I know you do, you know that none of that is true. Uh, and one of the worst abuses of that is they say that they have ads that are actual gameplay and are what the game actually is, which we all know. We've all probably seen the ads that are puzzle ads where they basically will go and they'll market just doing uh, these dumb puzzle games, and they'll be like, "Oh wow, this is such a cool game," whatnot, like doing this stuff, and oh, this is there's endless levels of this and whatnot, but really that's all just to get you in the game to to actually figure out what's going on, uh, start doing PvP, buying all these packs, whatnot. There's very limited, uh, very limited puzzles here. I mean, they have like all of these, but I mean, this is not a puzzle game. You guys all know this is not a puzzle game. But all the ads are only for the puzzle game element of it. Honestly, I think they're messing up. I think the gameplay, the PvP side of things is actually really cool. I think if they went like Clash of Clans style and talked about like PvP and talked about like all the battles and stuff like that, they would honestly get a lot more people who are interested in actually playing the game that exists into their game. But instead, they try and trick people into thinking that it's just about this. But this is such a small part of the game, and we all know that it's just complete bait and switch. But yeah, Sing had a video there about it. He kind of goes through some of their financials, their parent company, talks about shareholder calls and stuff like that. So I would recommend watching that. There a couple people have done videos on that before, and have kind of talked about the origins of Evony and who owns it and what they all do, and kind of how it has some kind of sketchy past. Let's put it that way. So if you're interested in that, look that up. But I will put a link to Sing's video in the description here, for those of you that want to go and watch it, just to kind of check it out, see it for yourself. But yeah, I just want to give a quick shout out there before I talked about what was sent to, I think, pretty much all players, and then what happened to some players, which is basically this warning against illegal third-party purchases. So Evony always tries to crack down on third-party purchases, right? Whether that be resources, whether that be pack loading, whether that be, even selling accounts. Like Evany cares, but doesn't really care about some of those. Like they don't really care about the resources, in my opinion. They only care about them when it's like specifically on certain times. So like Keep 40, when that launched, there were a bunch of people who had all of their alts cleared. They had buildings rolled back. They, had resources stolen from them because they were accused of buying resources from uh, people who are farming the resources and selling them. And we all know that those people do exist. Uh, but they also hit some legitimate people who were just using alts and just had been saving for Keep 40 because a lot of people knew Keep 40 was coming for a long time, and so they saved a whole bunch of resources. Really, I guess they should have just moved those resources into their main keep slowly and not have had to do massive, plundering right when it was released. But they did roll some of those things back. And so this essentially what they're doing is they're looking for people who are login sharing, which essentially means that you're giving someone access to your account, and then using third-party agencies or channels for fraudulent purchases. And they will have administrative actions that happen to them, and those include removing all gems, resource, and items that were obtained from illegal purchases, and banning accounts permanently. So, super serious stuff. If they do end up following through with some of it, um, I have actually seen a screenshot of a player that had all of their gems removed, and it basically they had a mail that said, "Okay, you've we know that you've been buying these gems or these items illegally. You essentially owe us money. Contact us to pay us that money." Which is kind of a little fucked up in my opinion. Like it's kind of crazy that they're even able to do that, but ultimately we are playing in their playground and they're able to do essentially anything that they want. So uh, and people, quite frankly, people who use pack loaders, they know that what they're doing is not okay, is not legal. Um, in at least in terms of Evony, legal, it is against the terms of service for sure. Uh, Basically, for those of you who don't know what pack loading is essentially you give someone else access to your account, and then they buy resource or buy packs on your behalf. Typically, they're doing that at a lower price than what the actual packs go for in the game. So like let's say you might for $100 pack, someone might sell you that for $70 and they're probably buying it for like $50. And so there's a couple different ways that people are actually doing that. They can use their pack costs are not the same across geographies. So in some places, I know for sure some places in Asia, packs are significantly cheaper than they are in the US and in Europe. I know Canada is actually more expensive than the US. And I think some other places are probably also more expensive than the US. And so essentially they're taking advantage of that, and they're buying packs at a cheaper price legally on your account, but it's ultimately illegal because Evany knows that the account belongs to someone in the US or it belongs to someone in Canada or whatnot. And so uh, I think that's kind of what they're going for. I don't think that they're interested in login sharing like, hey, like, I need help bubbling for a weekend or while I go on vacation or something like that, and you give access to a friend, like, and they watch your account. That's not what they're talking about here. They're talking about people who are actually buying things at a lower price or illegally, maybe they're using a stolen credit card or they're doing you know essentially money laundering with like gift cards or something like that, where like they'll use a stolen credit card to buy gift cards, and then they'll use the gift cards on the purchases or something like that. Those are just some thoughts that I have on kind of what's possibly going on, or what possibly could be, kind of more illegal ways of doing that. But I mean, this has been going on for a long time. People have been pack loading for a long time. Uh, I have absolutely never done it. And I don't really know anyone who's done it, but I know some of the big players absolutely have done it. And so I'm curious to see who's going to get hit with this. Um, in my opinion, it is kind of fair. Like you're not paying the same amount as everyone else for the stuff. But then again, the argument could be made for the fact that okay, but these people that are living in these countries are not paying the fair amount for these packs. We're not all paying the same amount for these packs. And so someone living in one of these Asian countries that and I think it's not just Asian countries. It is not like a is not being racist or anything like that. It's just that I for sure know that some of those packs are cheaper. It probably is also in different places as well, but I for sure know it's there. And so people who are there and they're playing legally and they're buying their packs, they're getting a better deal for their money. And so ultimately, is it really fair for them to be able to buy these packs at a cheaper price legally and not allow people to use essentially pack loaders to get the same price for that? I mean, from Evany's point of view, of course they don't want that, right? Because they're looking to make money. But in my opinion, it should be the same price for everyone. Like why have something where it's a different price for one geography versus the other? That's just implicitly fair. Like I could move someplace that has cheaper packs and start buying all my packs there and have a significantly better account for a lot less. I don't really buy packs, so it's not a huge deal for me. But like for the mega coiners, you imagine like Sir Philip or some of these massive coiners, if they were getting packs at a reduced price, they would be able to be way, way, way ahead of where they are now because they could buy more packs or they could just not be spending quite as much. But what I think is really interesting is they actually have some uh, some some punishments here. And Ebony will send out scary emails like this and say, "Oh, point trading is illegal. You can be banned. You can, all these things." That never really happens. I don't think anyone's ever been banned for point trading. Uh, because Evony wants their money. But for this is actually hitting Evony where it hurts in their in the money, in their revenue, and so they want to get rid of this. And so they're actually taking drastic actions. This is crazy. Taking all of their gems and resources and items, like that's wild. They're essentially holding these accounts hostage until they negotiate with them and try and pay them back. In my opinion, don't pay them back. Why would you? Like if they're asking you to pay, you know, $15,000 for purchases that you made, like first of all, like you spent a ton of money on their game, and regardless of the fact that you got things a little bit cheaper, there are people who legally got these things for that much cheaper and are at the same level as you. And so yeah, it's not fair to everyone else, and Evany hates it, but ultimately, like don't pay them for it. Like if anything, walk away from your account. Like I I know there's a lot of people that are addicted to this game, but if Evany is actually taking all your stuff, it's not even going to be close to worth it to pay whatever penalty they're trying to do. And if they ban your account, like I mean, you're not going to be able to do anything anyways. But really, if you're spending that amount of money on the game anyways, you can just buy an account that probably is as good of an account or better account to what you have. I know there's a ton of accounts on sale right now. There's a lot of accounts in C1 particularly, and you can get a really amazing account that hopefully does not have these issues, and you can play and not even have to coin anymore. I mean, with Evony, you're always going to have to coin to keep like super ultra competitive. But if you buy one of these really really good accounts, and you're playing it successfully and stuff like that, you'll still be competitive for a long time. So that would be my recommendation. Let me know if anyone has had their gems removed, or if anyone's seen anyone that's been banned. Uh, yeah, particularly the banning one, because I've not seen accounts banned all that often. Only like alts that are selling resources. That's the only time that I've seen it. But yeah, just wanted to give a quick heads up. If you have been doing this, definitely stop right away. Like you don't, it's not worth losing your account for it. You know, uh, maybe let Evony pay and don't buy packs anymore, or take a break from buying packs or whatnot. But likely this will probably subside soon. It did with the resource stuff with K40, but definitely don't be doing this right now. And if you have, you kind of know what you did was maybe not 100% okay, and unfortunately there are consequences to that. But yeah, let me know if anyone you know has been hit with this. Um, Super scary stuff though. Yeah, that's all I had for you guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. And as always, please do remember to like and subscribe. Helps me out a ton.